Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to a new reading vlog. This is going to be the second installment of my ARC reading vlog series that I've decided to start. I have quite a few ARCs to get through and I have three again, that was 5. I have 3 again in April that need to be read and I hope I love them all. So I'll see you when I have an update. So I have an intense bit of an update for Wild and Wicked Things by Francesca May. First of all, I'll tell you what this book is about. So this is like a great Gatsby retelling where this girl, Annie, goes to an island where her dad used to live and has passed away, and also where her best friend ran off to randomly, Bo, or B, I'm not sure. And when she gets there, there's these people who are considered to be witches, and they throw these elaborate parties, kind of like Great Gatsby, the witches. It's supposed to have like murder and it's supposed to be exciting. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm 25% of the way through and I could not be more bored. Absolutely nothing has happened. Nothing from the synopsis. The plot is bland. Like, the characters I honestly couldn't care less about. The writing style is a bit just over the top. I don't know. I just really don't like it at all. To the point where I was like, oh, I'll get through it just like to be able to properly review it. And I can't do it to myself. I honestly can't do it to myself. So this is like a 400 and something page book, so I am more than 100 pages in, and that to me is enough of a judgment, and I'm gonna have to let this go. Like, I'm really upset to be DNFing this because I know I DNF'd a book in my last episode of this, and I certainly didn't want to DNF the first book I read, but this had such a promising synopsis and then just was a complete and utter letdown. Like, the thing is, this was definitely my kind of book, so it's not even a case of like it wasn't for me. It's just the execution was like not to my tastes at all. And I'm just really upset about the matter, but I cannot put myself through it anymore. I'm sorry. I don't even have anything to give you. Like, I don't know what to say because nothing happened for me to talk about. I mean, if it sounds good, you can give it a try. Maybe you'll gel with it a bit more. But for me, personally, it's taken me so long to get to this point and for like no payoff whatsoever. So I'm going to just let it go and move on to the next one because, you know, time is precious. I don't have time for this. I'm sorry. That was not a good start. So I'm here for another update. I'm now reading Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. What's going on? So this book follows this girl Mara, who she's the princess with 2 sisters, and one of her sisters has died at the hands of a prince. And now her second sister is married to the same man, and therefore she's nervous about her suffering the same fate. So she is on a mission to save her sister by killing the prince. And like the synopsis says something about a chicken demon. A demon in a chicken. So I'm down for that. So I was like, you know what, this sounds good. I am currently 30% of the way in and so confused. I knew that Kingfisher's writing style was a odd one because everybody says it. So I'm not really put off by that, even though I'm a bit like, it is odd. I'm not that put off by it because I was kind of prepared for it going in. So I'm not too bothered. The story jumps around so much that I'm like a bit like, what is going on right now? Who are we? Who am I? Where are we? I'm gonna keep reading now and I'll give you some more thoughts and feelings when I have some. It's not looking good, fellas. It's not looking good. It's not a bad book by any means. However, the writing style is beyond weird. And I was trying to get past it because I know people say that this person's writing style is weird, but it didn't prepare me for the fact that I would find it so difficult to concentrate on understanding the writing style and being okay with the writing style that I would no longer be able to focus on the story. Yeah, so it's not good news. It's not looking great. I'm probably gonna DNF again. That's 2 in one vlog. I'm really sorry. I don't like DNFing arcs. I try not to do it, but like, come on, life's short, you know, life is short. There's better books in the world. I have a long list of arcs to be reading, so like I need to just let this go. So yeah, I'm really sorry, and I'm also really sorry about the terrible lighting in this clip. But there's the update for that one. Oops. If it's any help, I did make it like 70% of the way through, which is actually even worse because why did I DNF a book like that far into it? But it was just kind of not there for me. I have nothing bad to say about it other than the fact I just didn't really care that much. So not ideal, but it is what I've done. Hi guys, I am sat on the floor to give you guys an update on this vlog. So it's been a while, I don't know how long. I kind of just hit a slump which you could probably see from the footage I've taken that I've not been like loving my reading. I hit a slump, then some friends came to visit for my birthday, and so I didn't do any reading then, and so now I'm ready to get back into it. I'm still slumping so hard, but I'm not disliking every book I read, so I feel prepared to get back into this ARC reading vlog. So today we're going to take it slow, and we're going to read Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I'm so excited to have this. This could be very hit or miss. Beach Read was one of my favourite romances of all time. I absolutely loved it. And that was back when I wasn't even a romance reader. Whereas now I read a lot more romance. But People We Meet on Vacation, or whatever that was, it was one of the worst books I've ever read. I can't remember if I finished it. I think I did, but it was one of the worst books, like most disappointing reads ever. Not worst books, but one of the most disappointing reads ever, one of the worst romances I've ever read. It was so disappointing. I know that was the general consensus between most people. You know, I think a lot of people didn't love that book. But I'm going in today with high expectations of Book Lovers. The people who I've seen read it so far have all said that it is very reminiscent of Beach Read, as opposed to People We Meet on Vacation. So I have high hopes. So I think what I'm going to do right now is make myself a cup of coffee. The book is currently downloading on my Kindle back there, and we're going to get started. And I hope, maybe not, but I hope that I'm going to sit down and read this entire book in one sitting if I like it enough. So I will update you at the 50% mark, maybe less if I have thoughts before then. And then I will let you know how it's going, what my thoughts are. And let's just hope I don't DNF this one because this vlog is not going well. Okay, so I'm actually only 29% into the book, but I had to give you an update because I just have so much to say. First of all, I want to give you the synopsis of this book because I haven't already. We are following someone whose name I can't remember already. Oh, for goodness sake. We follow a character and she is working in publishing in the book industry, which is already quite fascinating to read about as a reader because I enjoy that. And she has this meeting with this guy right at the beginning of the book called Christopher or something. Oh my god, the names! I'm really not gelling with the names. Anyway, they have a meeting, they don't really like each other. They come across very rude. She just had a breakup on the phone. It was like her 5th breakup. Everybody leaves her. She believes she's cursed to be left by her partners for other women in small town romances. Very unique, interesting plot, I'm not gonna lie. I've been so intrigued reading it. This new book that came out that she really enjoyed, which is why she was arguing with that man at the meeting, comes out, and it's her sister's favourite book of all time. She likes it. So we fast forward 2 years and they end up going to the place where it's set, which is called Sunshine Falls, I think, which is very interesting because it's definitely a grumpy sunshine-ish. I mean, she's not even a sunshine, it's more like a grumpy book, but it was interesting. They get there, they're supposed to have this long list of like whirlwind romance, whatever. The sister's just like having a good time. She's pregnant. She just wants to have a moment of relaxation. So they're at this small town place in this cottage, which is such a nice setting for this book. Like, I just love that feeling. But the problem is the town has not got the vibe it's supposed to. Like, it's a bit run down and things, which I just thought was a good plot twist in a way. And then she gets there, and this guy that she doesn't like from that meeting, whose name I wish I could remember, he's there. And she's like, I took a plane to get here. Why is he here? She calls him her enemies, who is enemies to lovers, but I'm going to be completely honest with you, they don't give enemy vibes. They just don't like each other. It's not enemies. They met once, or like as far as I was concerned, they'd met once. So not enemies to lovers, but they do talk about themselves as if they are enemies to lovers. I am 29% in of the way in, as I said. This book is amazing. This book is so good. At the moment, it is better than Beach Read, and I gave Beach Read 5 stars, so clearly this is a 5 stars so far. I didn't enjoy the 2-year time jump. I hate time jumps. Like, they instantly put me in a bad mood, but it regained its strength. It got back up, and I was like... So right now, I'm having the best time. It's going really slowly. Like, I've been reading for an hour and a half, longer, I think, almost 2 hours, and I'm only 30% of the way through, which is like 100 pages. So that is really slow for me, but like that's because most of the time I'm just sat there squealing. I'm having such a good time. I will keep you updated. I definitely still plan on finishing this tonight because I cannot stop reading it. I'm having such a good time. This could definitely take me out of my slump because wow. What a good turn of events after the last 2 DNFs. I'm so happy. So I'm really, really sorry I didn't update you last night when I finished Book Lovers, but it was so good and I was just so late that I just wanted to like sleep. I did read it in one sitting, and when I was talking to you last, it was a 5-star book. And it was, but in the second half, it did slow down and I did find myself a little bit bored at times. So I did end up giving it a 4 overall. I will say I loved the characters. I thought that this book was very reminiscent of Beach Read as opposed to the people we meet on vacation. So, as I said, I think I've already said, if you are a fan of Beach Read but you didn't like her last book, I still think you should give this a go because it is definitely more her other style. I already can't remember the characters' names, but I really, really enjoyed them so much. I feel like they had such a connection and I really, really enjoyed the town that we were in. It was such a nice little pretty town, but it was run down as well. The whole point was it was depicted in this story as being something that it wasn't, and then when you got there it was really run down and like total opposite of what it was meant to be. But it was still really, really sweet. Like I still like that small town vibe where everyone knows everyone. I was a bit upset by like there was like this plot twist and I was like, oh, that hurts my soul. So I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed that the third act drama wasn't miscommunication or anything like that. It was, in my opinion, a genuine reason for some drama. So that I really appreciate, because there's nothing worse to me in a romance than third act drama that doesn't need to be there or like made just to be annoying. So I really recommend this book. This is absolutely a fabulous romance. I definitely think it's weird. I gave Beach Read a 5-star, but I preferred a lot of this book to that one. It was just the pacing for me. It was like, it did lull a lot after that first half. But that first half was absolutely incredible. It's probably realistically a 4.5 because I think the first half was a 5-star, the second half was a 4-star, so meeting in the middle. But I'm just going to go with a 4-star to be easy. But I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good, and I would highly recommend you check that book out when it releases. So, that being said, we only have one more book to read for this vlog. Hopefully another success, because we've already had 2 not so great successes and 1 success. This will be These Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan, which is the sequel to These Hollow Vows, which I got in my Fairy Loot box last year and really loved. I gave this 4 stars. It ended on such like, I don't know if you call it a cliffhanger as opposed to just a shock moment. Like I couldn't believe what happened at the end. So I am so ready to uncover the end of this duology, which I didn't know it was. I thought it was a trilogy, so kind of hurt in many ways. I am so ready to do this. I want to sit down. I'm hoping to finish it today, but there's no pressure if I don't. But I would really like to so that I can get this vlog up for you. But yeah, let's hope that this is a success. I'm so sorry if you could hear my washing machine the entire time. Why did I not think of that? So I was supposed to update you at 50%, but I forgot, to be honest. I'm now at 69%, and I don't have a lot of thoughts, if I'm being honest. So far, I just feel like it's mostly just being a little bit bland, but I also don't think that's such a negative thing in a way. The first book was so different. It felt like the first book, I think I compared it to The Selection. I think everybody compared it to The Selection. I think that was a me thing. Because it felt that way. It was a selection fantasy novel. Whereas this second one feels a lot more action. Oh, well, it's not even action. Because most of the time they're just sat there talking, which is one of my criticisms. But I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it. I'm enjoying it. I think it's good. It's not as good as the first one, in my opinion, but it's different. It's hard to compare the two. It's like a whole different series. It is very reminiscent of the second book in the Prison Healer series, The Gilded Cage. If you've read that and enjoyed it, this is very similar in the themes that like our main protagonist Bree is in like a different place to where she was in the original. She's got new people. It's it's very interesting. There's a lot of names coming up that I either don't remember or are new. There's one character that I'm obsessed with, so I definitely feel like I'm enjoying aspects of it. I don't quite feel the same serotonin that I felt for the character, like romance in here, because it's like this love triangle, which comes about in the first book between Bree, Sebastian, and Finn. And the whole book is like about that. So without spoiling anything, I'm not getting the same serotonin that I was for that in the first book. So it kind of doesn't feel that fun to me right now. I mean, right now it's not a bad book. It's like a 3.5, you know, it's almost at a 4. It's just the first book was a 4 and it was a good 4. So I'm a little bit like, I'm in an R in, but I'm really excited to see how this series ends, because so far at 69%, I don't feel like we're anywhere near a resolution. It feels like almost 70% of this book has been kind of like nothing. If this was a middle book, I'd be like, oh gosh, it's definitely just a middle filler book. Whereas that's not what this is, because this is the second book in the series. So I'm kind of like, did we need a second book in the series? But then I also feel like, yeah, because the first book was good enough and full enough. It's very strange. Obviously, I'm going to go finish it now, but up to the 70% mark, and I'm just a bit confused. But I also really like it. Like, I'm not confused with the storyline, I'm confused with like my feelings. But I am really enjoying it. I definitely still recommend it. I definitely still recommend These Hollow Vows. So let me go continue, and I'll come back to you when I have finished. So I'm here to give you my final thoughts and feelings on These Twisted Bonds. I just finished, and I've written up my NetGalley and Goodreads review. I have given this a 3 stars, I've decided, which is not a bad rating. I think that's actually a good rating. But I'll explain to you why it was not a 4-star like the first one was. So my main issue with this story was pacing. As I mentioned to you on my 70% update, nothing really had happened. It was very slow, very long-winded. Not that I minded that. That is kind of something I really enjoy. However, the last, I'm going to say 20%, was insane. Everything that could have happened. Every dark thing went wild. It all came about in this 20%, but was also resolved so quickly. Like, there was one scene that, I obviously won't spoil anything that happened, that I was so excited, and I was like, we're at 92%. This should kind of be wrapping up the end of the book, and here we are with this shocking reveal, dramatic scene thing. So I was like, how are we going to resolve this in 8% and finish the book? It was resolved by 93%. So what? And it was like this big thing, like it could have been so dark, it could have been so dramatic, and it was not. I was like, are you serious? Like, I've waited a whole book, and this is what you're going to give me? And then right at the end, at the peak of the book, we're finishing, we're wrapping up, we think we know what's going to happen. You know it's not going to happen, but you think you know something's going to happen. And then something emotional, I guess, happens, and it's so hard not to spoil, so I'm like trying my best. I must be so annoying. And then obviously the reveal, and it was just very anticlimactic. Like, I think the author needs to go back and rewrite, obviously they won't, it's done now, but should rewrite the ending to be a bit longer and cut out some of the beginning. Just make the scenes that you obviously thought out really well, and just make them a bit more in detail, make them last a bit longer, make them have a bit more emotional control over me, as to me appreciating them more, because I just didn't appreciate them because they were so quick. So unfortunately, pacing was a huge issue. I also think I mentioned it, but I'm not sure. Sebastian and Finn just didn't have the same pull that they had on me in the first book. So they're supposed to be like a love triangle kind of thing, and it didn't have any serotonin for me, which whereas it did in the first book. Like, I was obsessed with Finn. I still love Finn, but I just don't feel like I got anything out of it, really. The person who I loved in this story was Misha. Misha is amazing. He's like, I can't remember who he is. He's like this king of another place. He's not a big character. He's like this tiny little side character. He's amazing. He's everything. And I so want a side story. Like, I want a side spin-off series of him, because I feel like he has so much more to give. And he was such a fabulous part of this story that I need it. So that would be nice. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I can hope. So he was like this light of the story. I really enjoyed him. I think it was worth reading just for him, even though he was barely in it. But I did still enjoy this story. I know I'm being kind of negative with the pacing. It's just a big issue. Like, pacing is such a big thing, especially in a fantasy story, that we kind of need, you know, it can make or break. But I did still really enjoy this book. I still highly recommend this duology. Especially These Hollow Vows. It was much better. The second book is more nitty gritty, whereas the first book is more light-hearted, but I still thoroughly enjoyed that anyway. Sorry if you can hear my background music. I've just realised my background music is on. Washing machines, background music, what is going on? I'm so sorry. All I can say is I still recommend picking it up. First one was better, but I still really enjoyed it. Now I know that the reading date is really far ahead for this one, so you're probably wondering why I've already read it when it's coming out in July. Me and my friends wanted to do a buddy read, we all had the ARC, so I either couldn't do the buddy read or I couldn't do the video, and I was like, I'm just gonna put it in anyway. I'd already done my 3 books for this vlog, so it was an extra. So I hope that was okay, and I hope it's not too annoying that that book comes out so far in advance. I probably won't do that again, but we'll see. But thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope it was helpful to you in some way on deciding what books you're going to be picking up in the future. If you haven't already seen episode 1, I will have it linked down below, and hopefully there'll be episode 3 coming out soon if you guys like this video and are still interested in seeing my thoughts on upcoming releases. I've got some written down that people want me to do in these vlogs, but if you have got any requests, you can have a look on my Goodreads, which is always linked below, at my ARCs TBR folder, what's it called, shelf, and let me know if any of those you want to be vlogged. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.